Hi everyone!
Hi everyone!
This is Brogan. I will introduce him in a little bit, but he just wanted to say hi.
Okay,
now,
hi.
He's gonna go back and watch TV quietly, right?
Right. So we're on Minecraft.
Bye. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
We see you little guys for a bit, but we have to play this also game.
Okay.
It's called Minecraft.
Okay. Alright, go.
I go get I got one.
Okay, so this will be my second video. I kind of have it figured out to where... Okay, sorry about that, but you might hear him in the background or cartoons or something, so I apologize, but yeah, it's gonna happen. I'm not in a recording studio or anything like that, so yeah. He'll come back and say hi when I talk about him in a little bit. So, I did figure out a way to, not a way, but how I can look at my outline right now and you guys don't see anything. So, yeah, now I don't have to go back and forth. So, where were we on the last video? This is gonna be my timeline for after the hospital, I guess, and it's none of it is actually like 10% of it is what I can actually remember. The rest is what people have told me or what is in my calendar for what I've recorded. So, one second. Okay, sorry. Cartoons got paused. Okay, so I had become pretty good at taking notes and putting stuff in my calendar, so that's where a lot of this is the memories from what my calendar tells me. So, okay. I keep forgetting, I have a few pre-mornings, so I need to tell you about my weight thing, because I kind of told you last video, but I didn't really finish it. So anyways, when my accident happened, I weighed 240 effing pounds when I first went to the hospital, which I wasn't fat or anything, I was a somewhat active person. I worked on trucks, I did this, so it was like all spread out, so it wasn't anything too bad. Well, when I had the feeding truck inserted in my stomach and I got fed by that thing for almost 4 months, I dropped weight to around 180 pounds, from 240 to 180. That's kind of bad. So I was skin and bones, but laying in the hospital bed, and everyone brought me sweets and get better, get well treats and stuff, and I became very addicted to chocolate chip cookies and brownies and Pop-Tarts. Oh boy, I had about a pack of those every day. So, hence why laying in a hospital bed, not doing anything for 8 months or whatever, 4 months once I started eating, all that food went to my belly, all in my belly. So I gained all my weight back by the time I left. Went into the hospital weighing 240, went down to 180, and then left the hospital weighing 240 again, and it was all in my belly, all of it. So I was pretty chubby, to say the least. Okay, another pre-warning, I guess, the built Gort tough thing that everyone sees. I'll just kind of explain that if you don't know. Built Gort, my last name, tough. And I don't know who came up with that or started it, but it's because of that is a Ford logo, built Ford tough, it should say. But because I loved Fords, because I wasn't very smart back then, I loved Fords. They were cheap. It was my thing. So someone thought, well, he's obviously tough, gets hit by a minivan, still lives. He's built Gort tough. And then someone had one of my buddies make this logo and then make shirts out of it. And yeah, so that's kind of where the hashtag, and I'm not sure what to call it, the hashtag came from. So, okay. Looks like, yeah, those are all my pre-warnings, whatever you want to call them, for this video. Okay, so February 16th, 2016, I'm set to get dismissed from jail, or a hospital, or rehab unit, whatever you want to call it. I called it jail. So I'm confined to a wheelchair, and everyone that was close to me was told, like, Jake has a pretty good chance of living the rest of his life confined to a wheelchair, and only a wheelchair. I mean, they said it's up to him to whatever he does, but most likely he'll be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Sweet. That's awesome. Well, whatever, I'll figure it out. So I get released February 16th, and there was an off-road race that weekend that was pretty popular with my group of friends and my group of truck buddies and like everything like that, and called Battle at Print. BAP. BAP was that weekend, and a bunch of my friends that went to it had told me like I should come, this and that. So my dad, my fiance's mom, a few of my close friends, we all had decided, let's go to BAP. So in a wheelchair, I go to BAP, and to my surprise, I get there, and a lot of the, so to say, famous drivers and racers knew of my whole story, and they knew of me. All from my GoFundMe that was set up, my social media, just something like that. Now, for example, the ones that I still love, the Eisenhowers. Now, they're not, I'm sorry, Chris and Nick, you're not exactly Bill Gates famous, but you were Bill Gates to me. And when I got to BAP, of course, they were there racing, and they had known of me. They talked to me, they told me how much of an inspiration I was, and I didn't know who the hell told them anything, how they knew of me, but they did, and holy crap, that made my month. Thank you, Nick and Chris. Thank you very much. I love you guys. Thank you. Well, on top of that, another racer that was. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry. Brogan is being pretty noisy. Anyways, so Chris and Nick Eisenhower, they're not Bill Gates. Yeah, I love you guys, but whatever. And I forgot exactly how it happened, but this one racer who was literally like Robbie Gordon famous, TJ Flores. If you know anything about off-road racing, I guarantee you know that name. Well, TJ Flores saw me in my wheelchair and tech, this and that, and he came up to me and he knew of my entire story, what happened. He had read like every post, update, whatever on my GoFundMe, donated to it. Like he had followed along with absolutely everything. Holy Nikes. I just about passed out. So, awesome weekend at Prim. I have no idea who won or whatever, but it was awesome. Everyone knew of me. It was amazing. So, we leave the race, go back home. I had obviously moved all my stuff back to my house with my fiance. We lived there for a few weeks. My dad and her mom would come to the house and like help me, drive me to therapy, help Krista, help my fiance, help do stuff like that for a few weeks. Whatever. She was still pregnant at the time, so she needed help. So yeah, that was great. It was whatever. So then my life and everyone else's life changed for the holy smokes better. March 15th, 2016. Brogan Jacob Gort is born. I can't even describe the awesomeness, amazingness, everything, how, like, the ball. Yeah, it was awesome. And along with a lot more tattoos, which I'll get into, I got his name tattooed on my wrist. Can you guys see that? It's backwards to me, but I hope it's not to you. Brogan, and then his birthday below. Okay, so, and that was, I mean, I'm covered in tattoos. 8 hours on my ribs, this, that, everything. This tattoo took 5 minutes, maybe 6. And this tattoo hurt more than anything. It hurt more than getting hit by a 40-mile-an-hour minivan, 45, whatever, so to say. So, so Brogan's born. If you remember some things that I said in my first video, I was a very big weekend drinker and stuff before this. Well, after Brogan was born, I'd kind of thought about the idea before he was born, this and that. But once he was born, I had said that I don't want to drink ever again strictly because I don't ever want my son to see the drunk, angry, irresponsible person that I was again. Because what happened was, before my injury, like my drinking thing, if I had one, I had 100. I mean, I couldn't stop. So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna stop altogether because I don't ever want him to see that old Jake that I was. Easy enough. I've already been sober for like 8 months, a little more than 8 months by now, so why not just keep going with it? So I did. 5 years later, still sober, still for the same reason. Yeah. I've had a few, one or two. I think the most I've had in one like a day is 2, maybe 3. And that's happened like once or twice. Well, now, with my injury, TBI, it's very common and normal for people to have anger issues because I'm not sure why, but just think about like if you can't get up and walk away or walk somewhere, get this or get that, like you're gonna get pissed. And when it's not capable of you to be able to do it, it'll make you pretty pissed off. So, pretty normal with my injury to have anger issues. Now, my anger issues definitely came out after being released. And if you knew me before my accident, just try and think of drunk Jake when he was angry, multiply that by like 10, if not more. That is right. But I was sober. Sober Jake now is worse than angry Jake 5 years ago. That's who it was. So, I don't blame her, but my fiance just couldn't really handle it anymore. So, she moved in with her mom across a little ways away. She moved in with her. Also because she knew that my one buddy from California was coming here soon, so he could be here to help and he could live in there with me, live in the house and everything. So, alright, fine, understandable. You can't deal with my anger because it's stupid bad. So she goes and lives with her mom. So, the end of like March 2016, Brogan's born, and fiance moved in with her mom, and I was pretty much staying with my dad, or my dad was staying at the house or something for a few weeks because my one buddy from California had moved into the house the end of March 2016. So, I was kind of whatever. I had been going to outpatient therapy like 2 to 3 times a week, like just, I don't remember how much, but it wasn't that often. I started going to outpatient therapy, and then, like, I started doing that April of 2016. Now, around this time, according to my calendar, I had been starting to get my sleeve colored in because, backtrack the whole story, before my accident, I had this sleeve just outlined, the whole thing just pretty much outlined. There was some color down here, that's it. But when I got in the accident, actually kind of funny because if you think about it, iguanas, they can lose their tails and what happens? Oh, they grow them back and they still live, right? Well, when I got hit, I got, which side? Yeah, this side. I got this black scar line and then this scar right there. See how it took the lizard iguana's tail off? So I had been setting appointments to start getting my sleeve colored in and whatnot. And considering it's an iguana and they can still live and regrow their tail, I thought, well, I can get hit by a car and come back normal, so I'll just leave it as a scar. So like my very first appointment back with my tattoo artist, he wanted to go color it in, and thankfully I actually remembered to not do that. So I was like, wait, stop. And I told him to just leave it as a scar because exactly what I just said. And so thankfully he did. So now it's a scar. Yeah. And that's, then I got the whole sleeve colored in, everything. And while I was kind of doing this recovery, or rehab, or whatever, I had been seeing quotes, this and that, and some of them related to me, so I figured I want to get more tattoos. So, one that I loved was this one. It says, I forgot, if it's not challenging you, I forgot what it said. Yeah, that's what it says. Hold on. I got it. If it's not challenging you, it's not changing you. If you're not changing, you're behind. Because I don't really think I have to explain that one. It's pretty obvious with my incident and what I'm going through. And then also, this one I love says, the achievement of your goal is assured the moment you commit yourself to it. Which is another kind of obvious of what it means and why I got it. So, yeah. Those are my tattoos that I continued getting and stuff. Fiance moved in with her mom. My buddy and I were living at the house around April of 2016. Somewhere in there, my fiance and I break up so that I can focus on just my recovery and just some things happen. So we break up and then we sold the house that we owned. We sold it. My one buddy and his girlfriend got an apartment, moved out. So I'm doing outpatient therapy pretty much 3 times a week, this and that. Somewhere around, I had started right when I got released from the hospital and like just then started outpatient therapy. Very minimal, but then I started seeing a guidance counselor, a therapist for like my head stuff and what's wrong with me and what I'm gonna do about it. And I had gone through about two or three of those counselors just because of insurance or they moved or something like that. But around October of 2016, I started seeing this one counselor who became my best of best friends. I mean, I still see her to this day. And I started seeing her like once a week. And then I saw her with my dad a few times, with my fiance a few times, blah blah blah. And like I said, I still see her to this day. It's not once a week, but I still see her, and it's fucking great. So, I had been living with my dad, and that's where, like I said in my first video, that's kind of where I originated with my fabrication life and everything. And so I was trying to get back on my old life, so I figured let's try and fabricate. So I made a pretty cool stroller for Rogan that is pretty damn cool that some of you have seen that, yeah. And I just noticed while building it, and then there was a few other small projects like a bumper here and there I do for a buddy, and I just realized shortly after trying to get back into it that this isn't really for me anymore because I'm so handicapped and like I started in a wheelchair and I needed to do this to get this task done, and something that took me 2 steps before this accident took me like 20 to get done this now. And it, like I said about my anger issues, it pissed me off. So, shortly after I built the stroller for him and kind of did a few things for a few buddies, I'd kind of realized and came to the conclusion that I don't like fabricating off-road stuff anymore. I just don't. I mean, it sucks and it was hard to come to the realization, but I kind of came to it that I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, that part of my life is done. It sucks, but it is what it is. Shit happens. Like I always say. So, I'd kind of put that to rest, whatever. And since I was still going to outpatient therapy and whatnot, I also, the last hospital I was at, which was Barrows, like a world-renowned hospital, rehab unit, whatever, they had given me a 1-year free membership to a gym that it's called Ability 360, and anyone can go to it. I mean, anyone, normal or not. They have every machine. It's huge, but it's also adaptive, meaning people with injuries and that have adaptive or need wheelchairs or walkers or something, they can use the gym also. Like when you go up to the chest press machine, the seat folds out so that if you're in a wheelchair, you can wheel up to it and use the chest press machine. Sweet, right? Yeah. So I get given this 1-year free pass, and it also came with like 10 or 15 free training sessions with whoever I picked. So I said, whatever, I mean, at the time that I got told that, I was like, whatever, I'm not, gym is not my life. No way. I build trucks and drink beer, and that's what I'm gonna get back to doing. Well, since I had given up drinking for Brogan, and recently I had given up off-road fabricating and stuff, I was kind of left with nothing. So in turn, I was like, let's try the gym thing. I'm single, I'm fat, I need to get in shape to find a lady friend. Let's try it. So, I go talk to him a few times, this and that. Go down there. I have a consultant, no, not the right word. I meet with the trainer a few times, and then I was like, let's try him. Brandon Bailey, I love you. You're everything to me. He doesn't live here anymore, so I'll drop his name. He lives in Indonesia or Africa or something. So I had started doing training sessions with him like once a week or once every other week or something. It was like every Friday or whenever it was, I was doing it. Then I noticed that they had a rock wall at the gym. They had a rock wall that you could, when they opened the rock wall at certain times, I started trying it. Well, as many of you know now, that's kind of a big part of my life, rock climbing, at least indoor rock climbing. So, yeah, I was training with my trainer at the gym, doing the rock wall. This is like end of 2016. Still going to outpatient rehab somewhere. Rehab without walls at the time. And the lady in charge at Rehab Without Walls knew just how bad I wanted to get my license back. Like, I would have done anything to get it back. So, around June of 2017, I had started Rehab Without Walls, kind of got me hooked up with a driving institute place that they send people with injuries like mine. They hooked me up with a few sessions of driving rehab that was included with my insurance, of going to Rehab Without Walls, this and that, and basically, I don't know how to explain it. If you're a parent and you're afraid of your child driving, you send them to this school to do like tests and learn how to do this and learn how to drive and whatnot. And that's literally exactly what it was. Same thing, it was, 2 times a week for like hour and a half, 2 hours each time. And they just tested me like inside on paper and stuff. And then I'd go outside and drive one of their test cars with someone and all that. Well, July of 2017, they approved me to get my license. But they put a restriction on my license that I needed a spinner knob, like one of those truck donkey spinner knobs. No matter what I drive, I have to legally have that on. Whatever. I'm getting my license back, so whatever. They're gonna pay for it to be put on, so sure. So, get my license back. I had my the truck that I had recently bought, which I should have told you guys about that, but whatever. They had it installed on that truck and everything. I go back living at home with my buddy from California. Fiance, hold on. So I get my license July of 2017. I was still kind of working a few hours here and there at my old original job that I loved more than anything. If you're listening to this video, insert your name here. I want my job back more than anything. Okay. I had stopped working for him around July of 2017, so I didn't have a job. I had my son on the weekends, or I forgot when. I had been splitting time with my son. My fiance and I broke up. She lived with her mom. Still going to the gym, and after I lost my job, the gym became more of a thing for me because I needed it. I was fat still. I needed to get in shape so I thought I could get a girlfriend that way. So I focus on the gym and nutrition. I did hire a nutritionist for a little while. Thank you. Insert your name here. Thank you. I love you. But I eventually pissed her off. And at this point, I had been hearing how good yoga is for people with my exact injury. And the whole time, every single time I got told that, I was like, yeah, right, no way. I'm still in my head, I'm still thinking that I'm gonna go back to drinking beer and building trucks. That was what I was set for. But I hated fabricating. I stopped drinking. I was single now. Everything else that I can't. Yeah, so I'll try yoga. You know what? F it. Let's try. Well, I had been hearing about my gym, the adaptive gym, doing like a yoga class for what I wanted it for. People like me, an adaptive yoga class. So I had signed up to do a few yoga classes at the gym and their adaptive yoga, this and that. That was after I said I hated it and I would never do it again. And I started doing that in the gym around January of 2018. Didn't have a job. Gym was my life. Had become my life. Kind of yoga a little bit here and there. Eventually, when I went to school for basically 3D drafting, basically building 3D cool stuff on a computer. And that's what I did at my last job. And now I didn't have a job. And my dad's company, actually, their steel company, they said they could actually use some help doing my exact profession that I went to school for. Sweet. So I start working for them. Gort Metals around March of 2018. then start working for them. Still doing yoga here and there, but honestly, I kind of hated it because it was. I don't like adaptive things. Like, I don't like. How do I say? I don't like special things being done for me. I want to be normal, I guess. Like, yeah. So, I had been not liking the yoga at the gym, the adaptive stuff I'd been doing. It was great. Thank you guys for starting me with it, but it just wasn't for me. So I knew about, but I kind of had, what's the word? I had been hearing bad and good stuff about this place that was specifically for yoga, just like a block away from my house, that had a crap load of beautiful women that went to it. Me being single and trying to get my body in shape and everything, but I was handicapped, so I was using, I think at this time, like mid 2018, I was in a walker to 2 canes, I think. Then I went from, so I was using a walker or 2 canes, and I thought, like, I want to do yoga here at this place, but I don't want to be seen there because I suck at doing yoga, and I don't want to be seen in a walker or 2 canes or anything. But I said, you know what? I'm funny as shit. If you know me, I get a kick out of myself, so you know what? F everyone else, let's just try it. Maybe I'll get good at it and whatever. So I start yoga at the Madison Improvement Club. My first class that I have recorded in my calendar was November 27th, 2018. And I don't really remember what happened with it or how it happened or anything, but eventually I kind of got to know everyone there and they knew my story and stuff, which I'm sure I told everyone like 10 million times. I'm sorry, but so I had been going there, like, still going to the gym, working for my dad's company, doing yoga, and I was going to the gym twice a day, and I had started doing yoga a bunch, 2018, 2019, and then I started getting kind of like I don't want to say unhealthy, but I can't think of any other word that should go there. Unhealthy obsession of how much I go to yoga. I was doing that like 2 times a day, weekday. I have down in my calendar that I was even doing that like 3 times a weekday, 3 times a weekday for like a few weeks, probably a month. Well, that only lasted like a month before I realized I need to cool it. I'm still doing speech therapy on and off. I needed it, I didn't need it, I needed it. I was slurring my words, and still probably slurring my words. So 2019 was around when everything kind of got set into a good routine. I was going to the gym morning and afternoon. I would go to the gym as soon as they opened, hour and a half, 2 hours. Then I'd go to work at my dad's company for a few hours. Then I'd go back to the gym after work. Then I'd go to yoga once or twice a day, weekday. And then I'd have Brogan on the weekends because we shared custody, obviously. She was fair with who got him and stuff. There wasn't any, she was awesome with sharing him with me and letting him go to on certain dune trips and everything with me. And I'd let her take him to Texas or just where we were good co-parents. So for Brogan. So yeah, and that's still kind of where we are today. Is we're still doing pretty good with that, and I'm still going to the gym twice a day. I work for my dad's company. Yoga, I've gotten down to once a day, just because I was getting a little too much yoga. I was stressing myself out, but I kind of have it down into a routine now. Oh, one thing that I forgot to add, I guess, or maybe I did tell you guys in the beginning of this. Oh yeah, when I said my weight, I was released from the hospital at 240 again, but I was all belly 240. I mean, I was fat. Well, after 5 years, four now, around 4.5 years of this, of doing, not 4.5 years of doing yoga in the gym, but after being out and doing yoga in the gym so much, I'm down to 200, even, give or take 2 or 3 pounds for my weight, and that's freaking awesome to me. I mean, to get rid of 40 pounds while being handicapped and everything I have to deal with, it's pretty good. So yeah, that's where I'm at today, and that's kind of my timeline, I guess. So I'm sure there's a lot of finer details in there that I'm skipping over, but that's the general consensus of what happened and after being released, everything, and all that stuff. So yeah. Bye everyone! Oh, if you guys want, I'll do another video because I have an outline of it, of my different struggles and what I did, coping mechanisms, and how I dealt with this, and if you watch my Instagram, you've seen that recently I was able to finally put my right side shoe on all the way without holding on to anything. So things like that I could make a video about, how I needed to always hold on to something when I put my pants on or shoes, or how I needed to sit down to do this and that, and just all my struggles and different coping strategies and how I do everything. And yeah, I'm blabbering now, so yeah, just let me know if you want to hear another 49-minute video on how I did everything. Yeah, thank you for listening, if you even do. I love you all. Thank you all. This, like I said in my last video description, I'm not discrediting anyone. Like, everyone that was there for me and helped me in some way, one or the other, I love you and thank you. Just because I didn't mention you in this video doesn't mean anything. I freaking love you and thank you, and yeah, let me know. I still need speech therapy. Let me know. Thank you. I love you. Bye! Oh, actually, hold on. I want to say bye to everyone.
Bye everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
I love you all.
I love you all. Bye.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to watching cartoons and being a little stinker.
Yeah. That's a funny you do it.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.